In this short video, we'll be discussing object relative clauses, the second type of relative clause. Before we start discussing object relative clauses, let's quickly review subject relative clauses so we can see the difference between subject and object relative clauses. So if you remember from the last video, we had these two sentences. SMC is a community college. It is located close to UCLA. So we know that the second clause becomes the relative clause. And we know that the subject, it, is replaced with the relative pronoun. It, the subject, is the same as the community college. When we take a look at object relative clauses, we look at these two sentences. He is the professor. You saw him last week. We're focusing on not the subject, you. Instead, we're focusing on the object. Okay, so in this sentence, him is referring to the professor. So the object in this sentence is the same as this noun in the first sentence. So when we put together these sentences, second sentence will become the relative clause, but we put it together a little bit differently. We have, he is the professor whom you saw last week. And we'll take apart each sentence to make it a little bit more clear. Here's another example. The textbook is heavy. The students bought it. So again, we have a first independent clause. The second clause will become the relative clause. And in the second clause here, it is the object. We have subject, the students, verb, bought, and then the object, it. So when we put them together, we have the textbook, which the students bought, is heavy. So you can see that this sentence right here fits into this sentence right after the noun is trying to describe. When we write object relative clauses, we use the relative pronouns who, whom, which, and that. So we have an additional relative pronoun whom. We use who for people, whom for people, which for things, animals, places, and as we said, ideas, and that for everything. So let's take a look at a couple of practice problems. We have the student is Chinese. You met her yesterday. So we have again two sentences, and we want to describe a noun in this first sentence with this second sentence. So we want to describe the noun the student with the second sentence. Now if we read the second sentence, you met her yesterday, we're focusing on, again, the object. The student, you met her yesterday, is Chinese. So we want to combine these two sentences, but we still have the object. We need to get rid of it. We need to use a relative clause to connect the second sentence to the first sentence. So we come up with the student whom you met yesterday is Chinese. So we have all the parts of the original sentence here, but we just moved the object right after the student, and we leave the rest of the sentence. So when we get a complete sentence, we have the student whom you met yesterday is Chinese. Let's take a look at another example. We have the university is located in Arizona. She attends this university. So if we try to guess which noun we're trying to describe in the first sentence with the second sentence, we look for the noun that's the same in both sentences. So we have the university as a subject in the first sentence, and in this sentence, this university is the object. So if we combine these sentences, we just start by putting this whole sentence in right after the noun we want to describe, which is the university. We get the university. She attended this university is located in Arizona. Of course, this sentence is incorrect. We need to delete the university, replace it with a relative pronoun. So we have the university which she attended is located in Arizona. So again, you see that we have replaced this university. And since university is a thing, we use which, the relative pronoun which. We move it to position right after the noun we're trying to describe, and we get the university which she attended is located in Arizona. Now you try this practice problem.